6 years ago, I moved down to Florida. It was, I believe, the 22nd or the 23rd of January. I moved down as part of the Disney College program, and that year was very eventful in so many different ways. I met friends that I'm still friends with today. I met my husband, and getting to work at Fantasyland Attractions, aka Mickey's PhilharMagic, the Prince Charming's Carousel, I almost forgot the title, and Princess Fairy Tale Hall. I even got to work on the fireworks team, and that, I have to say, had quite some magical experiences to it. 5 years ago, around January, I believe 13th, 14th, 2015, I became an official status cast member, getting part-time at Storybook Circus. Merchandise was not my first choice in role or location, but that would begin a roller coaster of a Disney career over the next few years. Fast forward to today, I have finally earned my 5-year pin that will be going on my name tag when I eventually get my new name tag, because I'm currently working on getting a new name tag, and that's not as easy as a process as you would think. Rewind back to when I got my 1-year pin. I was working at Star Wars Launch Bay. We had just opened. Although I was close with the team, I wasn't very close with the management because they had just transferred to new management in that January. So when it came to getting my 1-year pin, not only did I get it a little late, but I also didn't get a little surprise party with all of my friends. It was more of a, oh, by the way, congratulations on getting your 1 year. Here's your pin. Now go back to work. Which at the time I was kind of bummed about because I had seen other people get a celebration or a card or a sign or something special, but I didn't get one. And I just was like, well, there's always my 5-year pin. Fast forward to today, or this last week rather. My 5-year anniversary pin has quite a story to it. So it was a Monday. Well, it wasn't a Monday, but it was my Monday. It was the beginning of my week. And I was the opening cast member for children's activities, which I do have to point out, through all the roles that I've ever worked, all the locations I've ever worked, children's activities at Disney's Wilderness Lodge has the best leadership team that I've ever worked with, and the best team in general, as in cast members and coordinators. From day one, I've gotten along with everyone. Everyone I work with is like a sister or a great friend, and each one of my leaders are like mom and dad, and they are so willing to listen and to work with you and do whatever you need, and I absolutely love that. Not only that, but due to recent events that I will not go into in this video, I've learned that they actually love and appreciate me and are so happy to have me on their team, which only having been there a month means a heck of a lot to me. So, all that said, let's go on to the story of how I got my 5-year pin. So I came into work, I was opening, and that meant I had to bring out the activities cart and all the activities that we were doing poolside. And as I was bringing it out, we just had gotten a new cart that I wasn't necessarily used to because it was our cart that had been worked on since I had started working, and we finally got it back. Brand new cart, mind you, they'd been waiting a very long time to get this cart back, and so I was pushing it or pulling it onto the pool deck, and it moved in a way that I wasn't used to, and it ran over my foot, which hurt. I was kind of stressed that morning already, and I'd had a headache already, and so that only made things worse. That said, getting it through the gate, I hit it on the gate, and then a piece of the wood fell off. And long story short, another piece fell off as well. Now, it's still functional. Literally, what I ended up breaking was aesthetic, was decorative pieces. We also looked into it, and they weren't securely on there anyway. They weren't glued on, they were held on literally by 2 small nails. So it was not my fault at all that they had fallen off, and no one blames me at all. But at the time, of course, I blamed myself. I felt so bad that I had broken the cart that we had just gotten, and it bothered me so much the entire time. It was just a constant reminder seeing the pieces of wood there. That said, I also had a CPR kind of recert, which is basically they review, make sure that we know and practice CPR, which I always get anxious for, and I had completely forgotten it was that day, and so I had gotten really anxious about that as well. So I was not having the best Monday, really. There was just a lot going on, and it just was all starting to add up. After going through my IST, which was not as stressful as I expected it to, but I just wanted to get back to working with one of my friends and, you know, going and doing poolside activities to kind of get my mind off of everything. I wanted to go and do my job to de-stress. How funny is that? As I was heading back, I was pulled aside by one of the cast members I worked with, and she said, "Hey, the managers want to speak with you about something." In my mind, I was like, well, great. I'm going to get in trouble for breaking the activities cart, because at this point they had stopped by the poolside or the pool deck and they knew that it was broken. So the whole walk there, I was like expecting the worst. I was expecting to get something noted on my record card. I was expecting them to give me the, you know, reprimand of, you need to learn to be careful with what we have, you know, the works. I was expecting the worst, and I was, after having such a stressful day, I was like already feeling guilty about the stupid cart, and I was just like, I was just not having it. I was not looking forward to it, and I was just like, you know what, whatever, I'll just take it and suck it up and just try to move on from it. So I walk in, and as soon as I turn the corner to go into the manager's office, I see my manager, 2 of my managers rather, then my friend who I thought was on the pool deck doing poolside activities, one of my other coordinators who I absolutely love, and then in the middle of the room was a table with balloons that said happy anniversary, a little like plaque, like a certificate that had Pluto on it, which is the little pin. It said congratulations on 5 years, and then it had the pin next to it, and then a big pink cake with my name. It said congratulations Danny, and all these little balloons. I walked in with this like look on my face, and when I saw that it was that, I was so just relieved that I wasn't getting in trouble. I have had so many walks to the manager's office thinking it was one thing and it being the worst, or thinking it was something big and it being something smaller but still being a punishment. Rarely ever have I had many positive walks to the manager's office. So this was one, and especially the day that I had, I was like, what next? But when I walked in and I saw that it was it, literally it took me quite a long time, really not even until I went home that end of the shift, that I realized that I had gotten my 5-year pin and that it was a big deal, and it was a big celebration. And really it didn't even hit me until even more so the next day when I had it and I still had the balloons, and I was like, I got my 5-year pin, I got my 5-year pin. Because to me also, it hasn't been 5 years, it's been 6 years, but unfortunately Disney does not count your college program years until you reach 10 years. So when I reach 10 years, if that ever does happen, it will go from 10 years to 11 years. So I'll get that extra bump. But I was just so like anxious about everything that because like I told everyone, I was like, I thought I was getting in trouble, and everyone laughed about it. My manager's like, it's fine, it's not your fault. And then jokingly said, like, do you want to cut a piece of cake? And so I literally just spent the next like 10 minutes cutting cake for everyone because I had so much anxious energy that I had to get out. I'm just so like happy and content doesn't even seem to grasp how I feel where I am working. And I will do a video about life working at Fort Wilderness Lodge, because it is very different from Saratoga in a lot of different ways. Same role, different atmosphere, different people. I will do a separate video on that because it has been over a month since I've worked at Wilderness Lodge, and like it is such a joy to get to go to work. I go to work with a smile on my face, excited on who I get to work with and who I get to see and the coordinators that I get to see, and I just enjoy my job so much that I am excited for the next 5 years or however many years I plan on working as a cast member at Disney World. I'm excited to see how Wilderness Lodge will change throughout the months, throughout the years, and I'm excited to see how I can help it change or how it will change me. Or I'm excited to get to work with the several coordinators that I have. We have a very good team that they work really well with me and I work very well with them. And again, I don't consider the team that I work with, like the cast that I work with, my coordinators who I work with, I don't consider them co-workers. Like, they're family and they're friends. Even the lifeguards I've come to absolutely love. Like, it's so much of a game and it's so much of a fun just experience. Like, we're just here to have a good time. And that's what it's supposed to be, but even more so at Wilderness Lodge than at Saratoga. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. This video is just very sentimental to me and it's a big deal to me. Like, I've been working for Disney for 6 years now, guys. Like, that doesn't even, when you think about everything I've done over the years, I guess it makes sense, but to me it doesn't feel like it's been 6 years. I will show you or tell you about a channel that I don't really talk about much because I don't post much on it anymore, or at all really. My Disney College Program channel, really where it all started for me as a Disney cast member, which is Danny WDWCP. That channel is still up and running. Go check that out if you'd like to see what life was like as a college programmer, my first months, my first year of being a Disney cast member. This channel started when I got status at Disney World as a part-timer, like literally the week or so before. So if you rewind all the way back to my very first videos of this channel, back when it was called Two Girls, Our World, that was when the year started counting. But if you want to go back before that, check out Danny WDWCP. Again, subscribe, check me out on Instagram. Sorry, my leg was falling asleep. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!